questions regarding National Guard, utilities, gas, electricity, water, future weather events, and questions regarding FEMA. After him will be Chief Deputy Kent Lewis with the Ohio County Sheriff's Office, who will discuss the missing persons reports that we received and unfortunately talk about the death toll and any other Ohio County related issues that there might be. Fire Chief Jim Blazier with the Wheeling Fire Department will follow to talk about recovery efforts in our creeks and the Wheeling response teams as well. And then Police Chief Sean Schwartfeger with the Wheeling Police Department will go over several road closures, distribution centers, a lot of people asking questions about donations, volunteers, and so on and so forth. There are several people that are here at the press conference that are not at the platform to recognize that have played an integral role in the last couple of days. Wheeling Mayor Denny Magruder, Wheeling City Manager Robert Herron, Wheeling Assistant City Manager Bill Lanham, Ohio County Emergency Management Assistant Director Tony Campbell, Sharon Kesserling with the Red Cross, Howard Gamble with the Wheeling Ohio County Health Department, Melissa Marco also is here with the Ohio County Development Authority, Ohio County Commission, and Randy Russell, the Ohio County Commission Administrator. I'll turn the podium over to Lou, who will follow with the individuals that I just noted. Lou?
Thank you, Philip. As you know, we're in the second day of this recovery from this tragedy, this disaster. Our three objectives are being maintained. Chief Blazier will explain some of what they're doing there. And also the Chief Deputy will talk to you more about the people we lost. But right now, we're still in our search for two missing people. Our second objective is to maintain and restore the infrastructure, not only here in the city, but also the county where we've had major damage. And finally is our preliminary damage assessment. And what this is so urgent for us is because with the assistance of the American Red Cross and Sharon here and the National Guard, we're going from house to house, determining how many houses have been destroyed, how many houses are severely damaged, and how many houses that have minor damage. As we compile this information will be given to the governor's office, and then it'll be passed on to Philadelphia, FEMA Region 3, and eventually to the president, and asking for a president's declaration. We've had congressmen and our senators who are supporting our efforts. They've already notified the president of what's going on, and once this damage assessment is complete, that's going to be what's very important for us to get that declaration from the president. There has been some questions about what's going on with utilities. Mountaineer Gas, I believe all those leaks have been stopped and gas has been restored to all the communities affected. The electric company is still reporting 1,700 people without power, and once they get a substation restored, we think those numbers are going to go down quite quickly. The Valley Grove water supply and system, they had a leak this morning. We think it's been repaired. That is going to hold the system. They're pressurizing the system. The tanks are being full, so we expect those citizens to return to normal with their water service. And of course, this weather event doesn't stop more rain from coming. So I've just talked to the National Weather Service. They're reporting today that this afternoon we do have a chance of some additional rain. They're going to continue a flood watch throughout the night, and by about 8 o'clock, what is worrisome to us is on Thursday there's chance of more severe weather. So we'll be closely watching the monitors because obviously with all the damage occurred, we have recovery efforts still going on, getting our restoration, so severe weather is going to affect all of that. So we'll be watching it very, very closely. Mr. Gamble is here. He is, tomorrow they will continue to provide tetanus shots to all the community, anybody who needs it here at the Wheeling County Health Department and also at our command post. He has a setup out there. And we've received many, many questions about FEMA. Where's FEMA? Why aren't they here? Where's the money coming from? As I explained, that's the importance of the preliminary damage assessment. We have to get those numbers, we have to get accurate numbers, and we have to get them to the president. That's when the declaration will be issued. Once we get that issued, then FEMA will be come in. There's basically two services from FEMA. One is public assistance, so any damage to public works or anything within the city, first response agencies, any expenses occurred, the damages that highways is dealing with, all those expenses are going to be covered under public assistance. But also, it's just as important is individual assistance. That's the assistance that's going to be helping all the people who've lost their homes or damaged. And that's why, again, I'm emphasizing the idea that the preliminary damage assessment is so essential. And Chief Blazier will be mentioning a little bit more about the process for that. So I'm going to turn it now over to Chief Deputy Lewis for his comments.
Thanks, Lou. Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here today. We are here today under somber circumstances. As you know, our community has experienced devastating flooding over the past 2 days, which has tragically resulted in the loss of life. Before I proceed, I want to extend my deep condolences to the family, friends, and lost of the loved ones, my family, friends, and loved ones of the ones we've lost. This is an incredibly difficult time, and our thoughts and prayers are with each and every one affected by this disaster. After this time, and after thorough verification by the medical examiner, we are releasing the names of those who have tragically lost their lives in this flood. Michael Bankowskevich, 73, of Triadelphia, West Virginia. Travis Creighton, 19, of Triadelphia, West Virginia. Kaylee Mitch Shawton, 26, of Triadelphia, along with her 3-year-old daughter, Parker Shawton. Lisa McMasters, 59, of Triadelphia, West Virginia. And Michael Vernos, 74, of Moundsville. We ask you for your respect and compassion for these families so they can grieve. Out of respect for their privacy, no further details will be released at this time in regards to them. As Mr. Vargo alluded to, we still have, I believe, 2 people still unaccounted for that we are actively searching for. The Ohio County Sheriff's Office is the lead investigatory agency regarding these fatalities. And to my knowledge, this is the largest mass casualty event we've had in Ohio County. Thank you.
Good afternoon. The recovery efforts along the Wheeling Creek are continuing. We started yesterday morning with systematic approach as far as searching homes that were impaired or destroyed to assure that there was no one inside, and then moving along, and some of this was going on simultaneously, and that was searching the creek banks and any vehicles that were able to be accessed that were above the water. We cleared most of those yesterday. One of the things that we did find in some of the homes were that we had some pets that folks probably left behind for their safety, and it worked. And we have those pets in the custody of the local animal shelters for safety. So if you did have a pet that's misplaced, check with one of the animal shelters to see if that's a possibility. Today we are concentrating on removing in excess of 20 vehicles and some other debris from the creeks. We're clearing those vehicles, looking for, make sure they were not occupied. Also, this is a twofold thing. One, to search for any missing persons that may be in these vehicles, as well as not allowing a damming effect that would happen at these bridge collection points. In case we get more rain, this will allow a freer flow of the water, lessening the impact of possibly future flooding. We've brought this up in our press conferences so far, and that is, if you have no reason to be in these areas, please avoid them. If you are a resident, by all means, you are welcome to go in. But if you are going out just to see what the damage is, please stay away. Recovery efforts are underway. Also, cleanup efforts are underway, and the amount of traffic that's involved is impeding those efforts. So if we could please avoid going and driving through these areas, it will expedite the success of this mission. Lou spoke a little bit about the damage assessment. So one of the first steps to get the ball rolling for assistance to our area is to fill out a disaster survey. And by doing this, this establishes the need for our location. And this will move that relief process forward to the federal level. As currently we have less than 100 people that have filled out the survey, and we are encouraging anyone that is affected by this flooding to please fill out the survey so that we can get your numbers counted and move us on to the next level. The website for that is emd.wv.gov/disaster survey. And we will post that on the website so that we can, if anybody needs it, they can access that site and use and get their survey in. I think that's all I have.
Thank you, Chief. On behalf of the men and women of the Wheeling Police Department and all of the agencies represented at the Emergency Operations Center, our heartfelt condolences to the tragic loss of 6 lives, all Ohio or Marshall County residents. Also, I want to extend our heartfelt appreciation to the first responders who for the last 48 hours essentially have continued to risk their lives in the interest of others. And finally, to all of the overwhelming response from citizens from throughout this Ohio Valley and the state of West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and Ohio for reaching out to provide assistance, which is much needed. So thank you there. I'm going to first cover road closures. First with an update. Within the last 30 minutes, Schilling Bridge has opened per the Department of Highways. But in the city of Wheeling, we still have road closures on Warden Run. And by the way, this is all part of your packets. Lumber Avenue, city of Wheeling, remains closed. US 40 National Road from Triadelphia to Valley Grove in Ohio County, closed. GC&P Road, both in the city of Wheeling and Ohio County, closed. Middle Creek Road, Ohio County, closed. Peters Run Road, Ohio County, closed. Dixon Run Road, Ohio County, closed. Short Creek Road in Ohio County, closed. McGraw's Run Road in Ohio County, closed. Atkinson Crossing in Ohio County, closed. Battle Run Road in Ohio County, closed. And finally, Point Run Road in Ohio County, closed. I mentioned the overwhelming response of people wanting to help. That is absolutely tremendous, and it's a part of who we are. However, having said that, there are some problems that come along with that. When you have self-reporting, when you have folks that are going on their own mission, when we're trying to organize a response, a coordinated response, it does have some adverse impacts. The traffic in Elm Grove has been fairly abysmal. The sightseeing is a large part of that. So I want to touch on a couple examples of how the sightseeing adversely impacts both recovery and cleanup. This morning we received a request to respond to the Elm Grove District of Wheeling for cleanup. We had city operations and the Department of Highways prepared and on the way to clean that stretch of roadway, which is desperately needed. Police officers were called there to clear the roadway, which was done, of parked vehicles. But because of the traffic, the equipment needed to complete that effort were delayed significantly. So that did not get done. And that's a perfect example of how sightseeing, being in those areas just for your own benefit, is adversely impacting what we're trying to do. So we ask you, we beg you, please stop. Please stop. I mentioned again the overwhelming response. We do have 3 distribution sites. Thank you to our partners at the Wheeling Fire Department who are occupying the Armory, West Banco Arena in downtown for larger items on pallets, and then our new partners at Gumtree at the Highlands. These are all receiving donations, cleaning supplies, food, primarily water. Those are continuing to be received, and in some cases, particularly at the Armory, is a large operation of distribution. So we are also taking requests for those in need of those supplies and are making arrangements to get those via police escort to the right places. We will continue those efforts, but for those of you that have pop-up response efforts, individual response efforts, we ask maybe that you try to coordinate, and we're happy to receive you for assistance at the Armory. The traffic at Elm Grove, as I referenced, was also further impacted by sightseers. We had to post Department of Highways and the United States Army at Kraus Drive and Peters Run Road because of the sightseers. And we're actually had turned away some residents who were trying to get out there. The traffic, again, because of the sightseeing, is adversely impacting the area command post, which is located at Respecs in the parking lot there. The traffic, again, being abysmal, is adversely impacting the recovery efforts that Chief Blazier outlined. So please, again, let's avoid these areas. You can see it via the coverage of your local media. You don't need to drive out there. I think I've covered everything, but if you are continuing to want to make a donation, you can certainly call 304-234-7109, and our wonderful volunteer cadre are taking those calls and trying to map out where those items need to be and where those items can be donated at. I think I've covered everything that I needed to, and I'll turn it back over to Mr. Barker.
Thank you, Chief. Are there any questions that I can answer, any of us can answer? Claire? Olivia, you have a question?
Yeah, I actually do have a question, and I just want to thank you guys for all that you're doing. Talking about those cars that you still have in the creeks and the rivers, with that exposure, is that really affecting the water quality? Is that something that people should be aware of in their homes if they have not been destroyed, if they're going back, or to shelters even? Is that affecting the water quality?
Okay.
That shouldn't affect, because any water that ends up being available for drinking water it's all treated. So anything that would be contaminants in the water would be treated out of it as the normal process.
And in addition, any type of fluid that would leak out, with the large volume of rain we had, the volume, once it gets into the river, dilution is one of our things that we actually take care of with hazard materials incidents. So all those contaminants will be diluted, and as the chief said, then the water will be treated. So we don't believe that's an issue.
Is there, sorry, go ahead. Chief Blazer, I'm interested what the extent of the recovery is right now, how far down the creek you are. Do you have people on the Ohio River? What's the extent?
We do. We have our river boat out on the river today, actually, exploring the mouth of the creek and the shoreline. And we've had locations along the river where we can predict sometimes where recoveries can be made. So we're searching those areas as we speak.
And in addition to our resources, our partners with the Marshall County Sheriff's Department had their boat in the water, and they're also searching along the river for any, if anybody would wash up down there.
Is there any timetable on when there will be access to Triadelphia, and is there any information on any potential damage to the fire department up there?
In speaking with the fire chief out there, the back wall was damaged. They also had damage to one of their rescue trucks, and I believe the ambulance got water. They've been offered from Marshall County, had a fire truck they were going to loan to them until that truck can be retrieved and also cleaned to get back into service. And there's also been an ambulance if they were needed, but they feel that there's not sufficient damage. We'll keep it out of service very long. It just needs cleaned out and decontaminated.
And do you know if there's a timetable on when there will be access to that area, or no? Not yet?
Not at this time. Right now, that's all being handled by the Ohio County Department of Highways. They've been partnered with the excuse me, the National Guard. We have as the chief mentioned, military police here is supporting our operations. We have damage assessment, but more important, we have loader dump teams have come in and they're helping, and they've been partnered. And one of the things, as the chief talked about with volunteers, we've had several companies who've come in and offered heavy equipment. That's where the equipment is needed out in the county, so they've been partnered and teamed up with the Ohio County Department of Highways. So do I have a timeline? No. We're gonna make sure all those roads are safe, they're passable. They were trying to get it to one place where we could have one line traffic in one direction and split it. But to total restoration until the Department of Highways, since it's their property, they'll be making that decision.
We were getting some calls last night about folks asking about any maps of detours that they can take, alternative routes. Is there any certain place they should call or anywhere that they could find something like that?
No, I think we could work on that and probably get that, those maps created. We'll get with the Department of Highways, have maps created, and we'll post it not only on the city webpage, but the Ohio County webpage. Yeah.
You said that right now the drop-off, you mentioned 3 drop-off locations. I've been in touch with several charities downstate. Do you anticipate those being there long-term for like churches bringing trucks up? Is that going to remain throughout the week of this time?
Yeah, I think that we will continue those efforts. The city of Wheeling is basically in a supportive position, and a lot of our work is nearing completion, but we're certainly going to support Ohio County as best we can, and we're happy to, because those locations, at least 2 of the 3 are in the city, we'll make sure that those maintain. So back to your point, sir, the quicker that we can get the cleanup worked on and the assessments done, again, with the sightseers, it's slowing things down. We can get people back to their homes if we can limit that. I do know that with the congestion in Elm Grove, that Dallas Pike is accessible. You could access it from Dallas Pike off of Interstate 70 and make your way down to 40. That may be a little easier. Some of also our pop-up support, if you will. Some of the folks that are attempting to do good can also adversely impact a coordinated effort. So there are some folks that are organizing their own shelters or organizing their own collection points and then trying to distribute that. If we don't know that, they're not going to be allowed access into the areas where they've been sent to go, if that makes sense, further slowing things down. But we're committed to keeping these points open, Mike.
Follow-up question. There have been, it was just on Facebook this morning, stories of theft. Has that been a major concern throughout the county right now, theft or looting?
I can't speak for Ohio County. I don't believe so. I will mention that it's important for folks to note, unfortunately, that scamming may be something that we need to look for. So no one from any of the agencies represented here are going to be sending any form of communication seeking monetary donations, anything like that. So please be aware, and let's not fall for those types of scams that we've all become too familiar with.
And just add to that, I've been told or asked about GoFundMe pages. I can assure you, and I think I could speak for the city manager and the mayor and the county commission, the city of Wheeling and Ohio County Commission, and Mr. Russell, we are not going to put a GoFundMe page on there. There's mechanisms, but with our donation lines for monetary donations, but we are not establishing any GoFundMe, so please avoid any of those. I know Facebook had a couple on there, but it's not coming from the city or the county government.
Just to be clear, the safest and most effective way is to contact that line that you mentioned, the phone number, if they wanted to donate or contribute to the recovery.
That is the one and only place that we're accepting donations as the city and the county government.
That's not to say that there may be some individual GoFundMe pages set up that are legitimate.
Sure.
I don't want to deter that.
Yeah.
But the city government for the scammers that may come
Yeah.
as a result of this tragedy, just to be alert, we're not
Yeah,
going to do that.
not to say there's GoFundMe page, support the city of Wheeling's efforts or High County Commissions. That's not going to happen.
Can you repeat that phone number that you mentioned?
304-234-7109.
You mentioned the Valley Road water. Now, is there partial restoration right now, or?
Yeah, it's partial restoration. They had a leak. It was contained. The pumps are in order, they're being pumping, they're filling up their tanks, but we believe, talking to Commissioner Warden, that probably later on this afternoon, they'll be back to full restoration. Then again, they're pressurizing the system. That's not to say there might be another leak or so, but right now, they think they have all their leaks contained.
You said this is a coordinated effort. Is it the EMA that is the lead agency and you're the point person from there on down, or how does that work?
Basically, that's how it's set up through FEMA, at the federal level to the state West Virginia Emergency Management Division, and at the city, the county emergency managers. As the chief alluded to, and I think I brag about this all the time. I have the best emergency management agency in the state of West Virginia. I have partners like this that they're here to support us on all our operations. The support I get from the county commission, Mr. Russell, the mayor, the council, the city manager, assistant city manager, all our partner agencies. I go to these meetings all the time with my peers and I say, geez, yeah, we have an emergency operations center. I can't get anybody to be here. We have a disaster like that, and just look around, come downstairs, the place is full. The support we get from our other partners, the High County schools, I could just go on and on. It's a team effort. Yeah, I have the title of director, but I don't look at me as anything. I think we're just all peers. We all have our role. You could call any of us any time of the day. Any citizen needs it. We're here to help. We're going to get this city and this county back into normal operations as quickly, and we're just dedicated to do that until every citizen is taken care of. Okay, Philip will be in touch if, this is going to be an ongoing project. I know that we're all looking forward to West Virginia Day and Juneteenth and having a short week, but I could tell you, at least for us, it's not going to happen. We're going to be here throughout the duration to get these citizens taken care of. So we'll have press conference. You'll be announcing that to the public or the media for anyone in the future. Okay, well, thank you very much for your attendance.
Sir, thank you.